Hey everyone, and welcome back to KenkoVibe, your daily dose of health insights. I'm Ethan Reed,
And I'm Grace Morgan.
ready to unpack another health mystery. Today we're tackling a question I know a lot of us ponder, especially when staring down a plate of sweet potato fries.
Mm.
Are sweet potatoes actually friends or foes when it comes to weight loss?
The sweet potato paradox.
Yeah,
It's a fascinating one because they're packed with nutrients, but also quite starchy. It's not as straightforward as some other veggies.
exactly. So let's break it down. We know sweet potatoes are root vegetables, but they're not all empty carbs, right? They're actually loaded with good stuff.
You got it. They're a powerhouse of complex carbohydrates. And before anyone panics about carbs, remember not all carbs are created equal.
Okay, let's rewind for a second. What's the difference between those good complex carbs and the bad simple carbs?
Think of it like this. Simple carbs are like a sugar rush. They're found in processed foods and sugary drinks, and your body processes them quickly. They give you a quick burst of energy, but then you crash. Complex carbs, on the other hand, are like a slow-burning fire. They're found in foods like sweet potatoes, whole grains, and legumes. Your body digests them much more slowly, which
You
means
stay fuller longer, which is
Mhm.
super helpful when you're trying to manage your weight.
Right on. And a big part of why sweet potatoes keep you feeling satisfied is their secret weapon, viscous soluble fiber.
Viscous soluble fiber.
Okay,
Break that down for me.
think of it like a tiny sponge in your digestive system. It absorbs water and forms a gel-like substance which slows down digestion even more.
Interesting. So it's like this fiber is actually bulking things up in your stomach, making you feel full on fewer calories.
Exactly. And here's a fun fact to really drive that home. Uncooked sweet potatoes are 77% water and 13% fiber. That's a low-calorie combo that delivers big on feeling satisfied.
So if I'm aiming to lose weight, can I just load up on sweet potatoes and call it a day?
Hold on there. While sweet potatoes can definitely be a valuable tool for weight management, let's not forget the golden rule. Weight loss comes down to a calorie deficit.
Right, burning more calories than you take in.
Yeah,
No magic food can change that, unfortunately.
exactly. But here's where sweet potatoes can shine. There's research showing that replacing one meal with a sweet potato-based formula led to a 5% decrease in body weight, body fat, A&D, mid-arm circumference.
Wow, that's impressive. But I'm guessing it wasn't just the magical sweet potato power at play, right?
You're sharp. It's likely tied to the lower overall calorie intake of that specific formula.
Makes sense. So it's more about using sweet potatoes strategically within a balanced diet, not relying on some kind of sweet potato cleanse.
Absolutely. Replacing an entire meal with just one food long-term isn't a recipe for sustainable healthy weight loss. You need variety and balance.
Okay, so sweet potatoes can be helpful, but they're not a weight loss miracle.
Hmm.
Now, what about on the flip side? Can sweet potatoes actually lead to weight gain?
That's where things get interesting. Sweet potatoes themselves don't inherently cause weight gain, but there are a few things to consider.
Lay it on me.
Well, for one, they're almost pure carbohydrates. They have very little fat and protein, which can affect how quickly those carbs get absorbed into your bloodstream.
So could that lead to blood sugar spikes, even though it's from a healthy source?
That's the thing. Managing blood sugar is key for maintaining a healthy weight. And while sweet potatoes are nutritional powerhouses, those carbs can hit your system quickly without some protein or fat to slow things down.
Okay, so even with healthy foods, portion size and what you eat them with matters. Makes sense.
It's all about balance. Now, there was one study we dug up that linked increased potato consumption to weight gain. BUT, it lumped all potatoes together, not just sweet potatoes.
Yeah, the classic research dilemma. Makes it hard to draw firm conclusions about sweet potatoes specifically, right?
Precisely. And remember, even with research correlation doesn't equal causation. It's not like eating a sweet potato automatically equals extra pounds.
So, more research needed. But for now, it seems like moderation and a balanced diet are key as always. Speaking of nutrition, let's talk about what makes sweet potatoes so good for us in the first place. I know they're packed with vitamins, right?
They really are. One medium sweet potato boasts over 100% of your daily vitamin A needs. And that's just the beginning.
Wow, 100%. That's got to be good for something,
Vitamin A is crucial for healthy vision, immune function, and even cell growth. Plus, sweet potatoes are a good source of vitamin B6.
which helps regulate your metabolism. We're back to weight management again.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Now, I've heard that how you cook sweet potatoes can affect how they impact your blood sugar and even their nutritional value. True or false?
Totally true. Different cooking methods can definitely change things up. For example, boiling sweet potatoes actually leads to the lowest blood sugar impact.
Really? So if you're watching your blood sugar, boiling is the way to go.
It's a great option. Boiling makes the starches easier to digest, which helps with that blood sugar response.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
But what about all those delicious roasted sweet potato recipes out there?
Of course, roasting is fantastic, but to understand how different cooking methods affect blood sugar, we need to talk about something called the glycemic index, or GI.
Get me with it. What's the GI all about?
The GI measures how quickly a food raises your blood sugar levels. And guess what? Sweet potatoes can have a GI as low as 46 when boiled, but as high as 94 when baked.
Whoa, that's quite a range. But I'm guessing it's not as simple as boiled good, baked bad, right?
It's about considering the big picture, like portion size and what else you're eating. Plus, that data comes from a relatively small study, so more research is always welcome.
Okay, so boiling might be the gentlest on blood sugar, but other cooking methods are fine too, in moderation, of course. So what are some lighter ways to enjoy sweet potatoes, without sending this calorie count through the roof?
Well, you could try boiling and mashing them with a little salt, or boiling them skin on and adding a dollop of guacamole.
Okay, that actually sounds pretty delicious. What about roasting?
Roasting is great too. You could slice them into wedges, season them with some rosemary and lemon juice, and roast them to perfection.
I could definitely go for that.
Uh,
But I have to ask, what about deep-fried sweet potatoes? Those crispy fries are so tempting, but probably not the best choice, right?
Deep frying anything tends to increase the calorie count because of all the oil absorbed during cooking.
So maybe enjoy those deep-fried sweet potato treats in moderation.
Exactly. It's all about making informed choices and being mindful of how different cooking methods can impact the nutritional value of your food.
Which brings us back to weight management. It's not just about one single food, it's about your overall diet and lifestyle, right?
Right. Sweet potatoes can absolutely be part of a healthy eating plan, whether you're aiming for weight loss or maintenance.
I love that. So to sum things up, sweet potatoes could be a great addition to a weight loss journey. They're full of nutrients, high in fiber, and can help you feel full and satisfied. But like anything else, moderation is key.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Choose healthier cooking methods, experiment with flavorful spices and herbs instead of high-calorie toppings, and enjoy those sweet potato treats in moderation.
This has been such a great dive into sweet potatoes.
I agree. So much to think about.
Definitely. Before we wrap up this part, I'm curious what stands out to you most about sweet potatoes from everything we've discussed so far.
What really strikes me is their versatility. There are so many delicious and healthy ways to enjoy them.
Totally agree. All right, listeners, stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore even more about sweet potatoes and share some practical tips for incorporating them into a healthy diet. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone. Now that we've explored the sweet potato from a weight management perspective, let's get even more practical. What are some simple ways to make the most of this nutritional powerhouse?
That's what I'm talking about. I love actionable tips.
Well, here's one you might not expect. Eat those sweet potatoes with their skin on.
Wait, seriously. The skin, I usually peel mine before cooking.
I know it sounds a bit strange, but that skin is a gold mine of fiber and nutrients.
So I'm missing out on extra fiber and good stuff by peeling it away.
Exactly. Just make sure you give those sweet potatoes a good scrub before cooking.
Okay, skin on it is. Now what about toppings and condiments? I'm a sucker for a loaded baked sweet potato. But some of those dishes can probably sabotage your healthy eating efforts pretty quickly.
You're not wrong. Instead of loading up on high sugar or high fat toppings like ketchup and mayo, why not get creative with spices, herbs, a little garlic, or even a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese?
Those are great ideas. They pack in flavor without all the extra calories and unhealthy fats. And what about all those people out there craving sweet potato fries? Deep fried anything isn't exactly a diet staple, but there's got to be a healthier way to get that crispy, salty goodness.
Absolutely. You can totally satisfy that fry craving without the guilt. Just cut sweet potatoes into wedges, season them up, and roast them in the oven or air fryer.
So much better than greasy oil-soaked fries. And you still get that satisfying crunch. Speaking of satisfying cravings, what about those classic sweet potato casseroles or pies? They're a holiday staple, but often loaded with sugar and butter. Any tips for lightening those up?
You're right, those dishes are often more of a treat than an everyday food. But there are definitely ways to tweak recipes and make them healthier. Look for versions that use less sugar, incorporate natural sweeteners like maple syrup or honey, and swap out some of the butter for healthier fats like coconut oil.
Great tips. So even with traditionally indulgent dishes, there are ways to make them a little bit healthier without sacrificing all the flavor.
Exactly. It's all about being mindful and making those small swaps that can add up over time.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. What would you say are the key takeaways for our listeners when it comes to sweet potatoes and a healthy lifestyle?
I think the biggest takeaway is that sweet potatoes are a nutritional powerhouse that can be enjoyed in so many ways. Don't be afraid to experiment with different cooking methods, seasonings, and toppings to find what you love.
And remember, moderation is key.
Mhm.
Even with healthy foods like sweet potatoes, it's about listening to your body and finding what works best for you.
Couldn't agree more. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to health and nutrition. It's about finding that balance that makes you feel your best.
Well said. This deep dive has been packed with information. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
I think we've given everyone a lot to chew on, literally and figuratively. Sweet potatoes are delicious, versatile, and can absolutely be a part of a healthy lifestyle.
I'm with you on that. We debunked some myths, dug into the science, and even got some great recipe inspiration along the way.
Exactly. Now go forth and conquer those sweet potatoes.
That's right. And for all our listeners out there, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you learn anything new? What are your favorite ways to enjoy sweet potatoes? Share your comments and keep the conversation going.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe to KenkoVibe podcast and share it with your friends and family. We release new episodes every day, packed with insights and tips to help you live your healthiest life.
That's right. I'm Ethan Reed.
And I'm Grace Morgan.
Thanks for joining us on this KenkoVibe journey. We're back for the final part of our sweet potato exploration. You know, as we were researching, there was one study that really stood out to me.
Yeah.
And it had to do with potatoes and weight gain.
Yeah, increased potato consumption and weight gain, but it didn't really specify what kind of potato.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, were they talking about sweet potatoes? Were they talking about russet potatoes?
Right.
Like, what was the deal with this study?
Yeah, it lumped all potatoes together.
So we can't really draw a conclusion from this study that sweet potatoes directly lead to weight gain.
Right, exactly. And, it makes you wonder,
It does.
should they have called it a spud study?
Instead of potato study.
Yeah, right, instead of potato study.
Maybe.
But, I think it just really emphasizes the need for more research,
Definitely.
specifically on sweet potatoes
Totally.
and their impact on weight.
And how they differ from other kinds of potatoes.
Exactly.
Because it's not like if you eat a sweet potato, you automatically gain weight.
Right.
It's not a one-to-one.
Yeah, correlation doesn't equal causation.
Exactly.
There could be other factors at play.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many other things to consider, like your overall diet, your portion sizes, cooking methods, individual metabolism.
Yeah.
It's way more complex than just you ate this one thing and this is going to happen.
Right. And even in that study, how the potatoes were prepared seemed to make a big difference.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. The study found that boiled, mashed, or baked potatoes actually increased the risk of developing diabetes more than French fries.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's a big difference.
Yeah. So it seems like the preparation method plays a significant role in how our bodies process those potatoes and the potential health implications.
That is so interesting. So while we can't definitively say that sweet potatoes cause weight gain or diabetes based on that one study,
Right.
it's definitely something that sparks curiosity and the need for more research in this area.
Absolutely. I think it's just a good reminder that nutrition science is a constantly evolving field.
Absolutely.
And, there's always more to learn and discover.
Always new information coming out.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've provided a lot of really great information and insights for our listeners today about sweet potatoes.
Definitely a lot to chew on.
A lot to chew on, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
We explored the nutritional power of this amazing root vegetable,
Yes.
debunked some myths,
Uh-huh.
and hopefully inspired everyone listening to get a little bit more creative in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
And I think we can confidently say that sweet potatoes can be a part of a healthy and delicious lifestyle.
Yes.
Whether you're aiming for weight loss, weight maintenance, or simply just want to enjoy their wonderful flavor.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, this wraps up our sweet potato deep dive.
Huge thank you to all of our listeners
Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
for joining us on this delicious journey.
We hope you learned something new and feel empowered to make informed choices about your health.
And if you enjoyed this episode,
Yes, please don't forget to subscribe.
to KenkoVibe podcast and share it with your friends and family.
We are back every single day with new episodes exploring the fascinating world of health and wellness.
I'm Grace Morgan.
And I'm Ethan Reed,
Thanks for tuning in to KenkoVibe.
your daily dose of health insights. We'll see you in the next episode.